Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. The system cannot be hacked. INEC assures Nigerians of a secured election. Buhari dragged to court for 100 billion naira over Ararume's alleged unlawful acts. One more ban, Buhari regime eyes $1 billion revenue from leather exports. Gunshots as Atiku convoy is attacked in Benue. Terrorism, Autumn has spoken bitter truth. Atiku asks questions to answer. Still on the news, scarcity, fuel can't sell below 200 naira per litre, marketers. Bawa has returned AVM or Joao's Range Rover to release seized 40 million naira. Terrorist Kaduna communities kidnap Catholic priest, 8 others. And on foreign scene, 2 pilots die after mid-air collision between glider and light aircraft in the air. Finally, on sports, Sadio Mane to miss World Cup with injury. Now the news in detail. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has reassured that the data on the Biometric Voters Accreditation System will not be compromised. INEC's Deputy Head of ICT, Lawrence Bayode, gave the assurance when he fielded questions on Channels Television's breakfast show Sunrise Daily, maintaining that the system will not be hacked on election day. I want to say again that we have done everything to ensure that the virus is not compromised. The data on the virus will be secured, he said on Wednesday. After the poll, when the data is transmitted to our back-end server, the data in transit will be secured. By the time the data gets to our back-end server, the data will also be secured there. He said the electoral body has tightened every loose end towards ensuring that the BUIs is safe. We have looked at the machine and we looked at a lot of things. As I said earlier, you cannot build such a system and would not fortify the system to solidify it, he added. Whether we like it or not, people will try a lot to beat this system, but the more they try, the more they meet a brick wall. I can say categorically that we have taken every surface attack vulnerability on this system, and we have also tried our best to ensure that the system cannot be hacked into on election day, and I can say again that virus cannot be compromised. A video for more details.
Commission is deploying these 2 technologies. One is to reduce human intervention that can or that could alter the wishes of voters, and also to increase the integrity of the electoral process, to deepen the integrity of the electoral process. So these are the 2 reasons why the Commission is deploying these 2 technology. And operationalizing them, the 2 technology, the BVAS and the IREF, I think we are ready. Everything is in place. As we speak, training of the technical staff that will support these 2 technologies on election day has commenced. We've done for 2 regions, Southwest and Northwest, but because of some activities that is also coming on in the coming week, we are suspending for the other region. After this activity, the training will commence again. Yeah.
President Muhammadu Buhari has been dragged to the Federal High Court in Abuja for 100 billion naira over the alleged unlawful removal of Senator Ifeanyi Godwin Ararume as a non-executive chairman of the newly incorporated Nigeria National Petroleum Company, NNPC. Ararume is demanding the huge sum as damages caused him in the alleged unlawful manner. He was removed as the NNPC chief after using his name to incorporate the entity. The suit marked FHC/ABJ/CS/691/2022 was instituted on his behalf by a group of senior advocates of Nigeria Sands, comprising Chief Chris Ume, Ahmed Raji, Mahmoud Bagaji, Ogu James Onoja, KC Nwofo, and Godi Uche. In the suit, Ararume formulated 4 issues for determination by the court, among which was whether, in view of the provisions of the Memorandum and Articles of Association of the NNPC, Companies and Allied Matters Act 2010, and the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, the office of the non-executive chairman is not governed and regulated by the stated provisions of the law. He is also asking the court to determine whether, by the interpretation of Section 63(3) of the Petroleum Industrial Act 2021, the President can lawfully remove him as non-executive chairman of the NNPC for any reason outside the provisions of the law. The Imo politician also wants the court to determine whether Buhari can sack him without compliance with expressly stated provisions of the Articles of Memorandum of Association of the Company, Section 63(3) of the PIA Act 2021, 2021, and Section 288 of the CAMA Act 2020. Also listed for determination is whether his purported removal via letter of January 17, 2022, without compliance with expressly stated provisions of the law, is not wrongful, illegal, null and void, and of no legal consequence whatsoever. Moving to the next story. President Muhammad Buhari's regime ought to rake in $1 billion in revenue by 2025 after banning momo in Nigeria to increase the export of processed leather. This was disclosed by Nigeria Institute for Leather Science Technology, NELEST, Director General Mohammed Yakubu on Wednesday during the 6th Annual National Conference of the Society for Leather Technologists and Chemists of Nigeria held in Zaria. Mr. Yakubu insisted that Nigeria's ban on animal skin consumption would improve the leather production industry. Leather export from Nigeria has been projected to generate over $1 billion in annual revenue by the year 2025, thus making it a cash cow in the non-oil sector of the economy, he said. Mr. Yakubu added that Nigeria had maintained a reputable supply of leather products to Europe and Asian markets, citing the Nigeria Export Promotion Council Trade Performance Index as indicating that Italy and Spain receive over 71% of the total leather export from Nigeria. And to the next story concerning the attack on Atiku's convoy. The convoy of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), was attacked in Maiduguri, Borno State on Wednesday. In a video seen on social media, a group of people were seen running in different directions as gunshots rent the air. The presidential campaign trail of the opposition party landed in Benue, an All Progressive Congress APC-controlled state, on Wednesday. Our correspondent saw vandalized vehicles in the convoy of Atiku at Ramat Square in Maiduguri, the state's capital. Spokesman of the Atiku campaign, Senator Dino Melaye, blamed the attack on the ruling party in Borno. Melaye lamented that more than 70 people were hospitalized. They wanted to prevent us from doing and holding the campaign. As we speak, 74 people were injured and hospitalized. Several vehicles were vandalized by APC talks. The APC is yet to react to Melaye's allegations as of the time of filing this report. Daily trolls with information saw hundreds of suspected political talks at strategic locations along Maiduguri-Kano Road. From that story, we go to the next story. Former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode has hailed the Benue State Governor over his outburst against the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Abubakar. During gubernatorial campaign launching in the state, tackled Atiku for allegedly supporting the X-Men terrorist causing mayhem in the state. Reacting, Fani-Kayode, a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress (APC), said Atiku should be scrutinized about his alleged link to terrorists. In a tweet on his verified handle, Fani-Kayode wrote, "Governor Autumn has spoken the bitter truth about Atiku. Waziri asked questions to answer about his links to the terrorists that have butchered so many innocent people all over the north. Every terrorist has a sponsor. Waziri's link with the merchant of death are worthy of scrutiny." Governor Autumn and former vice president are in a face-off over the repeated attacks on Benue people by the Fulani herdsmen. Recall that Atiku, who is a Fulani man from Adamawa State, had during one of his campaign outings tackled the governor for tagging Fulani herdsmen as terrorists. Autumn and his loyalists in the state, who demanded a public apology from Atiku, vowed to withhold their support for the former VP's presidential ambition. Moving on to fuel scarcity with the price per litre. The National Operations Controller of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Mike Oshatuyi, says the only realistic pump price of petrol is between 200 naira and 210 naira per litre. Oshatuyi said the federal government pricing template, the fixed pump price at 169 naira per litre of petrol, is grossly unrealistic when landing cost of the fuel at the station is 194 naira per litre. He said this in an interview with NAN in Lagos on Tuesday. I buy petrol at 186.50 kobo per litre from the depot, and it cost me about 9.50 kobo naira to get the same litre to the pump after paying levies. How do you want me to sell at 169 naira per litre when I have incurred additional cost? No marketer can sell petrol at the regulated price of 169 naira per litre with the current realities when landing cost is 194 naira per litre. Those saddled with the responsibility of petroleum importation and pricing should be held responsible for the price disparities at the fuel stations. The current price of petrol does not reflect inflation, foreign exchange costs, union dues and transportation, Osatui concluded. And to the next story. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says its chairman, Abdulrasheed Bawa, has returned the Range Rover SUV the anti-graft agency confiscated from former Air Vice Marshal Rufus Ojoawo and approved the refund of EC's 40 million naira. Efcc said it received with shock the ruling by Justice Chizoba Oji of the FCTI court sentencing Mr. Bawa to prison for contempt. On its verified Twitter handle, Efcc described Mr. Bawa as an apostle of the rule of law and due process and one who believes in close collaboration between the two institutions in justice administration. This ruling is surprising as it creates a wrong impression of the person of the Commission's chairman as encouraging impunity, the anti-graft agency said. As far as the relationship between the EFCC and the judiciary is concerned, the chairman has been an apostle of the rule of law, due process, and a promoter of close collaboration between the two institutions in justice administration. The court convicted the EFCC board on Tuesday for refusing to comply with an earlier court order. The court had ordered the commission to return a defendant, a former director of operations of the Nigeria Air Force, Mr. Ojoawo, his Range Rover SUV and 40 million naira seized from him. The EFCC had in 2016 arraigned Mr. Ojoawo before Justice Mewiya Baba Idris of the FCTI court on a 2-count charge. In Kaduna State, suspected terrorists have reportedly kidnapped a Catholic priest identified as Father Kuna and 8 others in separate attacks in Idon, Kajuru local government area and Oil Village, a suburb of Kaduna metropolis located near the Kaduna State Refinery. It was learned that the terrorists, numbering about 15, invaded the priest's residence in Idon at midnight on Monday and abducted him. Also, the attack on Oil Village allegedly occurred at about 7:45 p.m. on Monday night also. The Kaduna State Police Public Relations Officer Mohammed Jalige did not pick his phone line when reached out for his comments on this report. He has not replied to follow-up messages as of time of filing this report. In September, several reporters had reported terrorist attacks in some communities in the Buhari local government area of Kaduna State, killing 3 persons during the assault. According to witness, the victims were farmers who were at work on their crops when the bandits attacked. Although the police and other security agencies failed to comment on the attack, Ishaq Kasey, the chairman of the Buhari Emirate Progressives Union, said that the bandits kidnapped 22 people and stole motorcycles. He claimed that on September 24th, about 7 p.m., bandits broke into the Ayingada of Damari community in Kazage ward, where they killed 2 residents and abducted 12 others. And to foreign story. The sole occupant of 2 aircraft have died after colliding mid-air and crashing into a paddock at Gùnm near Gùnm, Queensland, police have said. Emergency crews responded to the incident involving a glider and another light aircraft at Gùnm near Gùnm at about 3 p.m. on Wednesday. We have got 2 scenes in the paddock nearby. They are approximately 200 meters apart and spread across a bit of a distance, Queensland Police Inspector Brad Efcc said on Wednesday. This is a tragic incident and a quite graphic scene left there for all the emergency services. Police said the pilot and sole occupants in each aircraft, an 80-year-old man from Carbotor Man and a 77-year-old man from Glenwood, were declared dead at the scene. And to the last story on the world news. Senegalese forward Sadio Mane has been ruled out of the World Cup after suffering an injury in his Bayern Munich side 6-1 Bundesliga win over Werder Bremen on Tuesday. The 30-year-old forward went down 15 minutes into the game against Werder Bremen in a Bundesliga match. With his country's first match of the Qatar showpiece in just 12 days' time, it appears that according to L'Equipe, Mane's issue is enough to see him miss out. After the match on Tuesday, Julian Nagelsmann, coach of Bayern, said, "I can't say anything for sure. It took a blow to the head of his shin." That ends the world news from BGI TV today. Before we go, some major headlines. The system cannot be hacked. INEC assures Nigerians of a secured bypass. Buhari dragged to court for 100 billion naira over Ararume's alleged unlawful removal. One more ban, Buhari regime eyes $1 billion revenue from leather exports. And lastly, on sports, Sadio Mane to miss World Cup with injury. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Bdùct TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bdùct with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bdùct_22. For other placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.